All right, get to work, get to work. I'll be watching you with hawk eyes this whole time, okay? I'm not in the mood to tell you that again, as your one job as the younger wife in this house is to get all the chores done, even while everyone else is here.
Get to work? But there's nothing left for me to do now. I've cleaned up all the dishes, and there isn't anything else to vacuum now. I've gone through all the house and wiped down all the tables, and have gone up to every window and sprayed them and cleaned them in order to let the most light through them. I went and swept the stairs for you, as well as cleaned the kitchen floor and took out all the trash.
Have you gotten around to doing the laundry and all of that?
I finished with the laundry a little while ago. You can even see that everything is all folded up and put into our rooms to be placed away later. And I made sure to change the sheets on the sofa as well. So at this point, there is really nothing left for me to clean or do for you. I can't even think of another thing I could work on that would make any sense at this point.
Are you sure that's how you want to end things? All of the family will be coming here really soon, and you have to make a name for yourself by making this place look spectacularly clean. If there is one thing that they spot and comment on, I am going to make sure you take responsibility for it. Will you be able to do that? It'll be a lot of pressure, and a lot of these people are much more strict than even I am.
Then can you go around and do a quick look over for me to see if there's anything I missed? That way, we can both be on the same page about the cleanliness here, and I won't have to be too worried anymore.
Huh? Does that mean you're not going to be able to take responsibility for yourself? That's what that sounds like to me. Do you not have the confidence where you need me to come around and check everything for you? That is not my job to be doing. You should be more than capable of cleaning and doing chores in this house without having someone like me come around and spot check all of your work.
All right. But this is how things always go with you, Dana. I ask you to check things for me first so that we can avoid conflicts later. But instead, you don't bother to help by doing that, so at some point you can complain about me. It's not that I'm saying you want me to mess up on purpose, but it sure does seem that way at times.
Then if you don't want me to complain about you anymore, do a better job at cleaning what I've asked you to clean. If you can do that for me, then you might actually end up being a good wife for my son.
Are you serious?
I'll have you know that I've been to over 100 different kinds of high-end hotels and have always made comments about the cleanliness of them. So if you can get me to not say a single word about your cleaning, then that means you're doing better than over 100 different hotels are. That should make you happy, right?
What? Over 100 different hotels? Complaining that much about all of their cleanliness just makes you look more like a stuck-up snob than anything else.
You're a real pain in my butt. I think I'm going to have to raise you again since your parents seem to have failed at that. Unlike women nowadays, back when I was first becoming my husband's wife, my mother-in-law pushed me so hard to make sure that I'd be perfect at everything. And now having to see this new generation of wives has left me shocked. I can't believe that all of you just want to sit around all day doing everything so sloppily around the home.
We aren't trying to sit around all day doing nothing, though. At least, I'm not trying to.
I know you all are. I've seen it with my own eyes, time and time again, especially you, Gia. So I'm going to break you down and rebuild you from the ground up, all right? So be ready. It will not be easy, and I'm going to be honest and say that you will cry even more now with me working on you than when you were a baby.
But listen, what's with you putting up that camera in the living room to watch over me all the time? That right there shows me that you're taking this way too far. You're trying to make it really hard for me to have any time to take a break and relax.
You have no right to be allowed a break time in this house. When you are here, you have to work every second of the day making sure this place is spotless and smells like nothing besides detergent. You will not stop working. I'll make sure of it, you useless woman.
Useless woman.
Gia, are you doing all right? I just realized that it looks like you've been working all day to clean. How about you take a moment to sit down and relax a little?
Angie, thank you so much for asking about how I'm doing. But unfortunately for me, I'm not able to take any time off for a break. I was told that I'm a useless woman. And so if I stop doing the chores here, I'll be done for.
What are you talking about right now?
Well, there's a lot that's gone into it, so... But just be aware that for the time being, I can't take any breaks, as it would not end well for me. I'm happy to see that you've noticed me working a lot, but I'm afraid it's going to have to stay this way today.
Does this mean that Dana said something to you that's made you act like that? I know that woman well, and this all seems like something she'd do.
It was something she told me. She told me this is to help retrain me and that this was for my own good so that I can remain a part of this family.
I see. That woman sure is a thing for making sure everyone is the perfect wife for their husband. She's way too old, though, for her to not be embarrassed by the way she acts. Well, listen, Gia, you don't have to worry about a word that woman says to you, and you can take as many breaks as you'd like.
What? Are you sure about that? But...
You've already put in so much work getting all this cleaning done, so it'd be wrong of us to continue to make you work into the afternoon. I'd like you to take a seat with all of us and talk about yourself a little. After all, everyone's come here today to relax and chat.
All right. Thank you so much for checking up on me. It really helps me out a bunch.
By the way, have you brought any of what's been going on here up with Isaiah? Told him about how Dana's trying to work you way too hard? I'm sure he'd have something to say to his own mother, knowing what things she's done to you already.
Not yet. There hasn't been anything yet between her and I that would make me go to him about it yet. Also, Gale is in the middle of a couple projects for work, so he doesn't have time to focus on this. And I don't want to get him all worried about what's going on here with his mom when he needs to be there.
You say that, but I feel as though he seems really worried about you and what you've been up to under the influence of your mother-in-law. I'm sure he realizes that something's up with you, so I really believe that you should bring this all up with him for once.
Of course. You are correct about what my Dana has been doing to me today, and that she has gone a little overboard with it. I will plan on bringing things up with him, or at least doing something that will really get his attention then.
Oh, is that right? I guess I didn't think you'd be willing to try and get his attention after saying you didn't want to disturb him. Well, that makes me feel a little better. I think that you'll be able to do all right then.
I think so too. So please, don't worry too much about me, and trust that I'll be able to handle all of this in one way or another. Go ahead and get back to chatting with everyone else now.
Thank you. I think I will then, but I'll make sure to watch and see how things go for you. You! Where the hell have you gone? Hurry up right now and get back here to get more work done. Plates are beginning to pile up in the sink.
I'm sorry, but I'm at the hospital right now.
Huh? The hospital? You're not some kind of nurse, right? You're a housewife that needs to stay in the home. Why did you think it was important of you to go to the hospital at a time like this?
Even if I'm not a nurse or anything like that, when I'm not doing well, I have the right to go to a hospital, correct? So, let me explain what's happened. I happened to pass out a little after you hit me in the head with that bottle of vodka, and have to go to the hospital to get myself checked out. Are you happy to have your explanation now?
Huh? Why would there ever be a reason for you to be passing out after that? I barely even hit you. And I was only doing it so you could disinfect yourself with the alcohol, you dirty parasite.
Are you kidding? Take a look at the gosh dang sofa that I was sitting on, please. There's vodka all over it still, right? That's because you hit me so hard in the head with the bottle that it actually shattered.
And that's evidence of why it's not okay for you to be sitting on any sofa at all, right? You are a housewife and have work left to do, so there is no way I was going to allow you to slack off.
What is so bad about me taking a second to sit on the sofa? And it's not even like I was sitting down in the same room as all the rest of the people, right?
A wife like you has no right to even a millisecond of sitting time. I already told you all of this before, right? Another thing, why were you showing all of the guests today to that other room in the house? It's because of you showing them to the room all the way on the other side of the house that they've made my job harder by being so far away from the kitchen.
I just assumed since that other room had a much more relaxed vibe to it, it'd be easier on everyone and they wouldn't have to continue sitting on that old couch in the living room.
Well, you made work on yourself only grow even more by doing something like that, right? I've had enough of this, so get your butt back to the house. I need you back here working right now.
Why are you being so strict with your son's wife like this?
I'm doing all of this for your sake is why. Back when I was your age, I had the same thing happen between myself and my mother-in-law, who worked me very hard.
Are you talking about Angie?
That's right. I was given the most strict upbringing by her that any wife has ever had on this planet. And that's why I'm going to make you work as hard as I was forced to.
So this is what all that hard work was about? It's because of your own past that you decided to hit me outside the head with a bottle of vodka and make me pass out?
Oh, shut up. This all has to do with you being a frickin' brat and talking to me like you have any say. You are worse than any other wife, housewife I've known. Why did my sweet little boy have to end up marrying such a useless woman like you? Now you get your butt back to this house. I'm going to make you work as all wives are supposed to.
I told you, it's not going to happen now. I'm in the hospital at the moment to get my head taken care of. Also, why would I ever want to go back to some place where the person who assaulted me is at?
You think that I assaulted you just then? Oh, stop being so overdramatic. I had to make sure to reset your brain after you thought that it was a good idea to take a break while you were cleaning and catering to my family and friends. What the hell do you think you're doing going to a hospital after getting hit in the head with a simple tray? Well, now it's your turn, right? Huh? Hello, Dana. I had a good look at the moment you took that bottle and threw it at Gia's head a little bit ago. Oh, did you? But that's just the way I chose to handle things. I'm not going to listen to anything more from her about being such a victim to my way of treating her. So just understand that, please. All right, then. Well, I wasn't going to say anything about it anyway. Now, the next time we're all coming over will be in 2 weeks, right? I'll see you all again then. Wait, what are you doing? Why do you think you have to punch me now? You want to know why? Because you decided to sit down with the rest of us when you are the wife of this house. I'm the wife. But from my point of view, you are a younger wife than me in this house, therefore you don't get to have any time to take any breaks. You have to work all the time to clean the place up and serve everyone, right? And so far, you've only shown that you're a useless woman. So tell me why you thought it was a good idea to sit on the sofa like that? Oh, wait, that's because... Are you trying to tell me that punching you would be taking things too far? Oh, that's pretty bold of you to say that when just a couple of weeks ago you sent your daughter-in-law to the hospital after hitting her in the head with a bottle of vodka. Well, I didn't do that in front of everyone. I made sure to do that in a place where none of you guys could see it happen. And that's because you knew that if you did something as ridiculous as that in front of everyone else, they'd have some awful things to say about you, right? Well, that's right, right? After all, you did hit her in the head with a darn glass bottle. And you know that no matter what the reason you may have had for that, the rest of us would not forgive you for it. Right? You have no right to be saying things like this about me. And here we go again with that horrible attitude of yours. You really have me thinking once again about your actions. It's like you're back to that same old toxic woman from back in the day. Oh, shut up. You were the one who treated me like crap when you started to train me to be a good wife. You wanted to make sure that a young wife like me back then would be perfect. That's why you treated me so poorly at the house. I'm not going to let you say you forgot about all of that. So, you're trying to say that the reason you're treating Gia so poorly is because that's the way you were treated by your mother-in-law back in the day. That's exactly right. That's a fact. Well, I don't ever remember treating you in any way that was unfair or unjustified back then. I only happened to tell you that you were making mistakes and that you were wrong from a mother's perspective. Nope, you absolutely did not do that. You tried to abuse me back then in order to do everything you'd ask of me. It's probably because of all that stress you had that you'd pick fights with me and bully me. Well, you would go out and spend the family credit card on things that were only meant for yourself and without anyone's permission. And you'd use your husband's company's money to take yourself to all kinds of high-end hotels for weekends, right? You were one of the worst wives ever back then. That has nothing to do with what's going on right now. I think it has every bit of a connection to what's been going on here. You happened to go against everything the family asked you to stop doing back then. What you were doing was laced with problems, and it had to stop. That's the reason for everything that's happened after, right? Have you still not come around to accepting that yet? Oh, you're so annoying. I was still young back then, so stop trying to put all the blame on me for what happened back then. And Gia is the same age now, just about, that you were back when all that was going on, right? I can't do this anymore. I told you to shut up because you're being so annoying right now. An old witch like you needs to shut the hell up already. Jesus Christ. You've fallen right back to where you started. You don't think that you can get away with things now just because you've become friends with that old witch. I promise you I'll destroy that old witch if that's what you really want to see. And then I'll have you trapped with nowhere left to run.
Destroy her?
I meant exactly what I said there. Do you know that she hit me in the head with a tray as well now? And she did that in front of all the family and friends that were gathered here. So I will take her to court and sue her butt.
What? But Dana, you did the exact same thing to me a little while back, right? Do you think it's okay that you're the only one allowed to do things like that?
I was doing it as a way to get you to stop messing around. But that old witch only did it as a way of picking on me in front of everyone.
Your way of getting me to stop? I'm sorry, but that's not the way I saw it when you hit me so hard you lacerated my head. So, if you really are going to be suing Angie over this, then I'm going to sue you for hitting me in the head.
Excuse me, what the hell are you talking about?
Hold on, you have been talking about this the whole time, right?
Well, listen, miss, do you even have evidence of me hitting you in the head with any bottle of vodka?
Are you kidding me?
I never hit you in the head with anything, not even a bottle of anything. Angie may be saying that she saw something like that happen, but in her old age, I'm sure her eyes are not 20/20, right?
I can't believe this. It's like you're not even human anymore. That's how screwed up your head is. Not only are you just an awful mother-in-law, but at this point, I think you're better off being locked up in some asylum for the way you're behaving.
Oh, are you trying to make fun of me now? I'll take you to court as well over something like that.
I'm sure you may have forgotten this, but the room you hit me in the head with that bottle of vodka in happens to be the same room you installed that camera in to watch me. So, that night when I came back to the house, I went and saved all the recording on that camera to my phone. And so, the evidence of you hitting me really hard over the head with that dinner tray, and all the blood that came out of me and me passing out after, is saved on my phone.
So that's why you had all those people at the time moved over to the other room to relax for a bit?
That's right. I was thinking it'd be the best place to do it since you probably wanted to keep all your actions a secret from everyone else. However, I never thought you'd end up assaulting me in any way when I chose to take a small break on the sofa.
Then what about the place that Angie ended up hitting me in the head at?
You had that happen to you back in that other room, where there is no camera installed at. Dana, you keep talking about how someone like Angie hit you in the head the same way as you hit me. But are you sure something like that really took place?
This! You'd better stop messing around. Oh, well, it's all going to be okay. There may be no video evidence, but there were a ton of other bystanders in the room at the time that witnessed what happened to me. I'll ask them all to come and help me, and then I'll have the two of you ruined for the rest of your lives.
And I hope that all goes well for you.
Hey, you. What the hell have you said to Gail about this? Also, when it comes to my husband, did you say something to him as well?
What do you think I said to them?
I'm not here to play games with your stupid butt anymore. I was told by my son just a little bit ago that he wants to cut ties to me forever.
Well, that just happens to be because someone like him does not like the fact that you treated his wife horribly, and even hit her in the head with a bottle of vodka, sending her to the hospital, right? You can relax now because I didn't do or say anything to him that would make him want this.
Oh, stop it with all your bullcrap. Then tell me about my husband then. My husband is asking to get a divorce from me now after what you've done.
And I'd like to think it's for the same reason as Isaiah had. I believe that your husband was on his last leg with you, and what you did to me was the last straw and made him want to jump ship. Dana, I understand that you were going to look for people to back you up over this, but it seems everyone just wants to cut ties with you. Well, that's only natural of all of them. You've been a total jackass this whole time.
What? No matter what you say, this is all your fault. I was just trying to fix you because you are a terrible wife and woman, yet now everyone is trying to leave me. Oh, why me? The only terrible wife in this family is you, Dana. What do you want from me, you old witch? Look at that. The moment people start to do and say things you don't like, you begin to call them bad names, like old witch. You are the one that did many things wrong and are being punished for them, but are too self-centered to even take a moment to reflect on that. I can't believe it, though. You haven't changed one bit from the monster you were in the past. I am speechless. You are always trying to act like you're better than everyone else. Do you think you're the perfect woman? Sure, I'm not perfect, but I sure am better than you. I happen to not be the one with fingers pointed at her for picking on and assaulting her daughter-in-law. Shut up! You've heard about how my son will be divorcing you now, right? In other words, that means you and I will never have to talk to one another ever again. Thank you for what little you offered. Goodbye forever now. What is this? You came all the way out contacting me just to say something as BS as that? If anything, you're the one with a far worse heart than me. Right. After all, I was so bad that you had to start calling me an old witch again. Well, I hate being called something like that, and that's why I am really pissed off with you now. And that's the reason why I will not make things easy for you, and I will make sure that when all is said and done, you will no longer be able to touch my family ever again, and will go rot in hell with the rest of this evil world. Ugh! I've had enough with all of you messing around with me. So with that, goodbye forever.
Dana, can you please stop walking all over outside my house like that? We have all cut ties to you already, so you need to give up and go away.
Why, Gia? Why did you never tell me you were the one paying for the whole family the whole time? And why do you get to have that house now? That house is the place I had been living in for the past 30 years. I'm asking you to please forgive me. Please just let me back into your lives.
As for me paying for a lot of the things this family had been living on, that is true. But you would have never listened to me anyway about it and just assumed that I was lying the whole entire time. So I went ahead and told your husband about it, my father-in-law, and said that if he didn't do something about you, I'd stop paying for him as well. As for the house, that was not the choice I ended up making, Dana. You were the one that lost your husband after he divorced you, and so there's nothing I can do to help get things back to the way they were. Just go back to your parents' house or something to live the rest of your life.
I don't want to, though. I want to be back living in that house with you. I will apologize for everything I did to you, so please forgive me. I am asking you to please help me.
It's not going to happen now. And there's nothing I can do to help you after all the trouble you started. Now, if you are going to continue standing outside our house all day causing us trouble, I'm going to have to call the police and have them take you away.
No. Please don't call the police on me now. I won't do anything to you guys, all right? Okay? I'll go away soon.
Wait. Dana, have you done something bad that might get the police to take interest in you?
No, I haven't done anything wrong. I just don't want to have to deal with the police right now. They scare me. That's why.
Well, I understand there being people that get nervous when they see the police as just a natural thing, but... Dana, if you've done something wrong that they might be after you for, you should just turn yourself in and confess to it.
I told you I haven't done anything wrong, though. So you don't have to worry about me. So with that being said, let me ask you this. Do you think you'll ever be able to forgive me?
Asking me to forgive you? Well, based on what the rest of the family is saying about you, I'd rather not have anything to do with you anymore. So please just understand that and go.
But what if I do seriously change my ways this time and make sure to treat you very well?
The problem is, no matter how many times you try and change yourself to get us to take you back, you'll just start being a complete witch again. After all, you complained to over 100 different high-end hotels about their service and cleanliness. So I'm sure you'll never stop complaining, right? Lol. After the situation with my mother-in-law, Dana, spiraled out of control, I knew I had to take drastic steps to ensure my peace of mind. I had no other choice but to block her phone number, and once I did that, I didn't hear a single thing from her. The silence was a relief, but it didn't last long. Dana, in her usual fashion, continued to show up at our house unannounced, trying to keep tabs on us and what we were doing. It became clear that she wasn't respecting our boundaries, and I had had enough. I couldn't tolerate her intrusions any longer, so in a moment of frustration and finality, I called the police on her. I remember feeling a mix of anger and relief when they showed up. The police took her seriously and warned her about trespassing. And from that day forward, I never had to see her lurking around our house again. It felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. But still, a lingering unease remained. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something deeper going on with her. Something that went beyond just being irritating and overbearing. Maybe she was involved in something shady. Or perhaps her actions were driven by something more serious. My worries lingered as I sat in front of the television one evening, mindlessly flipping through channels. Then, a news story caught my attention. The reporter was talking about a recent arrest that had made headlines in our town. And as the story unfolded, my heart sank. It was Dana. She had been arrested by the police. The reason for her arrest was the last thing I expected. Apparently, Dana had been involved in purse snatching, going around town and swiping items from people's purses. The police had discovered that she was selling the stolen goods to pawn shops in exchange for quick cash. I couldn't believe it. Dana, who I had once tried to care for and include in my life, had resorted to such low and dishonest behavior. I had always known she had her flaws, but this was a new low. But that wasn't all. As if her criminal activities weren't enough, it turned out Dana was also driving around with an expired driver's license. This only added fuel to the fire. And her actions made everything worse. How could someone who had been in my life act so recklessly and carelessly? It was hard to comprehend how things had spiraled so far out of control for her. At that moment, I couldn't help but feel a strange sense of satisfaction mixed with disbelief. I couldn't deny that a part of me found it almost poetic that she was caught and arrested. After all, she had caused me so much grief and stress over the years, and now the universe had found a way to deal with her. I wasn't the one who had to confront her anymore. She was facing the consequences of her own actions. Once Dana was taken to court, the repercussions were swift. She was ordered to pay a hefty settlement to the victims of her purse-snatching spree. They had to be compensated for the emotional and financial damage her actions had caused. Additionally, Dana was slapped with a fine for driving with an expired license. Her life seemed to be falling apart before her eyes. And I couldn't help but think it was well-deserved. Dana had always been someone who felt entitled, who expected others to take care of her. Now, she was facing the harsh reality of having lost everything. Her freedom, her reputation, and her money. It seemed like her downward spiral had no end in sight. She had nowhere to go, no one left to turn to, so she made the decision to leave town. She returned to her hometown, hoping to find refuge with her older sister. I had hoped, maybe naively, that this might be the turning point for Dana. Maybe, just maybe, she would use this time away from us to reflect on her actions and start over. Perhaps her sister and her family would be the support system she needed to get her life back on track. But, as it turned out, my hopes were misplaced. Just a month after moving in with her sister, things had taken a turn for the worse. Dana, unable to resist her old habits, began to steal from her sister. She started pawning her sister's belongings, taking advantage of her kindness and hospitality. When her sister caught on, she was furious. She confronted Dana, but it only escalated the situation. Her sister's husband, understandably upset, intervened and forced Dana out of the house. Dana, ever the manipulator, tried to plead with them, begging to come back in. She even stood outside their house in nothing but a bathrobe, desperate and humiliated. But her sister and her husband were no fools. They knew better than to let Dana back in after everything she had done. They knew that she would just continue to take advantage of them, just as she had done with everyone else. This time, they did the right thing. They called the police again. When Dana was taken into custody, it was clear that she was in denial about the consequences of her actions. This time, however, the law didn't go easy on her. The court wasn't as lenient as before, and Dana was sentenced to 6 months in jail for theft. The sentence hit her hard. I'm sure it was a shock to her system, but it was also long overdue. Dana had spent so much of her life skating by on other people's generosity, never facing any real consequences for her actions. Now, the reality of her situation was sinking in, and it caused her to break down completely. I couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions as I watched everything unfold from a distance. Part of me felt pity for her, but another part of me couldn't ignore the fact that she had brought this upon herself. I wondered if this second stint in jail would finally be the wake-up call Dana needed. Would it be enough to make her change her ways, to help her understand the damage she had caused? Or would she continue down this destructive path until it was too late? As much as I had hoped for Dana to turn her life around, I couldn't let her affect my family anymore. Since the day Dana was kicked out of our house, my life had become so much more peaceful. I felt like I could finally breathe again. My husband and my father-in-law had been a great support system, and together we had created a safe, stable environment. I had taken on the role of housewife, and for the first time in a long time, I was enjoying the calmness of my everyday life. One person who had really helped me through the worst of the situation was Angie. She had always been there for me, standing by my side when things with Dana became unbearable. I will always be grateful for her strength and loyalty. After everything that had happened, I wanted to thank her in some way. So I continued to invite her over to visit, along with the rest of the family and friends. However, this time, things were different. I didn't feel the need to work myself into exhaustion. Instead, I made it a point to sit back and relax, enjoying the company of those around me. It was a relief not to be constantly on edge, wondering when Dana would show up again or what new trouble she would cause. Now, I could simply enjoy life for what it was, a simple, peaceful existence that I had worked hard to create. And while I didn't expect Dana to change overnight, I couldn't help but hope that she would eventually find the strength to turn her life around. I knew, however, that it would take more than just time to heal. She would have to confront the reality of her actions. The damage she had caused and the relationships she had ruined. Only then would she truly be able to move forward. For now, all I could do was focus on my own family and the life we were building together, one step at a time. In the months that followed Dana's second arrest and her time in jail, things began to settle down further. There were moments when I found myself reflecting on everything that had happened, trying to make sense of it all. How did it all spiral so quickly? How did the woman I once tried to build a relationship with end up in such a mess? I couldn't help but ask myself those questions over and over again. But in the end, I realized that Dana had made her own choices. Every step she took toward her downfall had been hers and hers alone. At first, it felt like a betrayal. To see someone I had tried to care for, to support, turn against me and others. She'd manipulated me, made me feel guilty for things that weren't my fault, and caused so much emotional and financial distress. It was exhausting, but over time, I came to understand that it wasn't really about me. It wasn't about her wanting to hurt me. It was more about her own deep-rooted issues and the choices she made in trying to escape from her problems, no matter the cost. I had been a target, but I wasn't the cause. It was her inability to face her own demons that led her to lash out in harmful ways. Despite all the pain she caused, I couldn't completely turn off the part of me that still hoped for her redemption. I wondered if, with enough time and enough consequences, Dana could find her way back. I wasn't blind to the fact that people could change. But it had to be done on their own terms. Nobody could force her to face the truth, least of all me. It was something she had to come to realize on her own. In the meantime, I focused on my family, the people who had never abandoned me and had been supportive through the entire ordeal. My husband and father-in-law, despite all the stress that Dana had put us through, remained constant and calm. We had built a solid foundation together, and as a family, we were stronger than we had ever been. There were no more secrets, no more fears of what Dana might do next, and that sense of stability was a relief. It also gave me a chance to reflect on my own life. Becoming a housewife had given me a sense of peace that I never thought I would have again. I had always been someone who sought stability, someone who wanted to feel secure and at home. Dana had disrupted that for so long that it almost felt foreign to me to have it back. There were days when I found myself waking up and feeling a sense of calm wash over me, realizing I wasn't constantly worried about her or the chaos she would bring. Angie remained one of the most important people in my life. The way she had supported me when Dana's presence was unbearable showed me just how strong our bond was. I often thought about how lucky I was to have a friend like her, someone who would drop everything to help me when I needed it most. It wasn't just about Dana, though. Angie had always been there for me, long before any of this happened, and our friendship had only deepened over the years. I realized how important it was to surround myself with people who genuinely cared about me, who would help me navigate the challenges that life threw my way.
Wait, you knew my wedding was coming up and you still went and got into an accident? What the hell is that? Are you serious? You couldn't be careful? Was it on purpose or something? You're not coming to my wedding now? So what? You're not happy for me or something?
Huh? What are you talking about? I didn't plan on having an accident, and you know I didn't want this to happen, right? I mean, no one ever expects to get into an accident. I definitely didn't. I really wanted to be at your wedding, but right now, even sending you this message is a struggle for me. I'm really sorry.
Oh, please, don't give me that. You're lying, aren't you? You're just jealous because I'm the first one of our group to get married, aren't you? I thought you were my best friend. Is this how you show it, by trying to avoid giving me a wedding gift or showing up to support me? I can't believe you'd stoop this low.
Jealous? No way! I'm really not! And I'd never avoid giving you a gift or showing up for your big day, I swear! I really did prepare everything. I even had my dress ready. I was looking forward to attending your wedding, but this accident... I can't help that it happened. I'm sorry. I promise I'll find a way to celebrate with you later, even if I can't make it to the ceremony. I'll give you the gift, I promise.
Yeah, I heard you're in a wheelchair because of the accident, but that's no excuse. You knew how important this was for me. How can you skip out on my wedding, the most important day of my life? You're the one who's supposed to be at the reception desk, too. Are you seriously going to flake on that responsibility, too?
I really didn't want this to happen. I know it's a huge inconvenience. And I feel terrible about not being able to help with the reception. But please, can you find someone else to cover for me? I hate asking you this, but I can't do it.
You're kidding, right? Do you have any idea how stressful a wedding is? And now on top of everything, I have to deal with this last-minute problem. This is seriously the worst. There is no way I can just find someone else at this point. You're putting me in a terrible position by bailing at the last second. If you don't show up, we're done as friends. I'm cutting ties with you. This is it.
Juliet, can't you try to see things from my side for just a moment? I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just this accident really caught me off guard.
See things from your side? Are you serious right now? You're the one who isn't thinking about my situation. You're going to embarrass me by not showing up. Do you have any idea how bad it looks when someone in charge of something as important as the reception desk cancels last minute? People will think I have the worst friends ever, and if you don't show up, I am going to make sure everyone knows all of your embarrassing secrets. Remember how you used to like that guy? Well, guess what? He actually liked me all along. He told me everything, but you had no idea. You were there acting all happy for me, pretending you were fine when we started dating. Oh, and that's not even the worst of it. There's plenty more I can tell everyone about your embarrassing past.
Juliet, this is blackmail.
Oh, did I forget to mention? Remember that senior you had a crush on back in the day? Well, turns out he's going to be at my wedding too. He's my fiancé's junior from college. Isn't that funny?
What? No way. Davis? He's going to be there?
Yep, and if you don't show up, I'll make sure he knows all the pathetic details about your little crush on him. And let's be honest, if you're really the kind of friend who won't even bother showing up to my wedding, then I don't see why I should keep any of your embarrassing stories to myself. I'm not afraid to spill the tea, so you'd better get your act together.
I see. If it's come to this, then I guess there's nothing I can do.
Remember how we all encouraged you to confess your feelings to him? But you got so nervous that you ended up with a stomachache and had to hide in the bathroom. You couldn't even come out. You completely bailed on the whole thing. I was dying trying to keep a straight face while you panicked.
You really thought that was funny? I had no idea you felt that way.
Oh, come on. It's hilarious. And trust me, you don't want that kind of stuff getting out, right? So just show up to the wedding. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. You better be there.
All right, I'll come. Even if I have to bring the wheelchair and my medical equipment, I'll be there. Is that okay with you?
Finally! Took you long enough to come to your senses. I don't care what condition you're in. Just be there.
Yeah, okay. I'll be there.
And don't be late. I mean it. You're already on thin ice as it is.
I'll do my best.
Dana, are you seriously going to go to Juliet's wedding like this? How could you? You know it's not safe for you to push yourself this hard. I can't believe it. Juliet told me she's dead set on making sure you attend, but are you really going to go through with this?
Yeah, I guess Juliet told you about it. She really pushed me hard earlier. I tried to explain to her that I can't make it in my condition, but she was so insistent. She said there's no way she could ask anyone else to handle the reception this late and that it would be humiliating if I didn't show up. She made it seem like me not coming would be some kind of disaster for her.
What? Are you serious? That's just unbelievable. Juliet is really being that selfish?
Yeah, I was honestly a little shocked myself. I told her that I'd be in a wheelchair and everything, but she said she didn't care, that I had to show up no matter what. She even said I could crawl in if I had to.
But Dana, in your condition, it's just not realistic. If you go like this, you're only going to stand out in a bad way. Don't you think it's better for everyone if you don't push yourself?
I know. I tried to explain that too. I even told her that I'm not in any shape to wear the dress I bought and that it would probably just cause problems if I showed up. But she didn't care. To her, what matters most is that I'm there. She even said if I don't show up, we're done as friends.
That's just insane. How could she be so unreasonable? And, you know, I've been thinking this for a while, but ever since Juliet's wedding plans got finalized, she's really changed, hasn't she?
Yeah, I've noticed it too. Before, we were always in sync and hanging out with her was fun. But after she got engaged, it feels like she's been looking down on us, doesn't it?
Totally. It's like she's been treating us like pawns in her wedding plans. And now forcing you to come to her wedding despite your situation, it's like she only cares about how things look, not how we actually feel. Does she even think of us as friends anymore, or are we just props to make her big day look perfect?
Yeah, I've been feeling the same way. It's like she's desperate to maintain this perfect image. And I think it's partly because her fiancé is such a high-profile guy, like this perfect elite type. It's almost as if she's trying to make herself seem more important by association, you know?
Exactly. I've been thinking the same thing. It's like she started to look down on me for not having a boyfriend. And don't even get me started on that time when she made that snide comment about my boyfriend not working for a big company. Do you remember? She was like, "Are you sure you're okay with that? You know, as a woman, it's better to snag a man who can provide, right?" I was furious. Who does she think she is telling me that? I don't pick men based on how much money they make.
Yeah, it's like she's become someone else. She was never like this before. And get this, earlier today, she tried to blackmail me. She threatened to spread my embarrassing stories if I didn't show up to the wedding. She actually brought up stuff from years ago to use against me. I mean, I honestly don't care about those things anymore, but the fact that she'd go that far, I was shocked.
Are you serious? She's blackmailing you now? That's just... wow. She really thinks she's something special now that she's marrying into a good family, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's probably what it is. But honestly, even if I do end up going to the wedding, I don't think things will go the way she expects.
You know what? I'll talk to her too. This whole thing is ridiculous. Forcing you to come in a wheelchair is just wrong on so many levels. I'm actually meeting her before the wedding to go over some things, so I'll take the opportunity to say something. I'll tell her to cut you some slack and to stop being so unreasonable. You need to take care of yourself.
Really? That would be a huge help. I don't know how else to make her understand. Thanks so much.
Of course, you don't have to deal with this alone. I'll talk to her and set her straight. This is too much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I feel like I've been in over my head with all of this.
You? What the hell did you do? How could you show up at my wedding looking like that? What were you thinking?
What do you mean, what was I thinking? I told you, I'm in a wheelchair now. You knew that already. I even mentioned that I'd have to bring along the necessary medical equipment, right? So none of this should be surprising to you.
But still, this is just too much. You looked like an absolute mess. What was with all that? You came in here with an IV drip hanging off of you. And your head, wrapped in bandages like that. You couldn't even move on your own, and Amy had to push your wheelchair the entire time. And during the reception, you were just sitting there doing nothing. You couldn't even help with anything, could you?
Yes, exactly. I already explained this, didn't I? I told you that coming here would likely be a burden and cause more problems than it would solve. But you still insisted that I come to your wedding. You told me to be there no matter what, even if I had to crawl, remember?
Well, yeah, I did say that, but I didn't expect you to come looking like you just walked out of a hospital. Do you have any idea what people were saying? Everyone's whispering about it behind my back. People are asking me why I even invited someone who's clearly in no condition to attend a wedding. It's embarrassing.
Actually, I already dealt with that. I put up screenshots of our messages for everyone to see. Now, everyone here knows the truth. A lot of the guests are actually really sympathetic toward me. Many of them have come up to me and told me that I should be at home resting instead of coming to this wedding. So it's not the disaster you're making it out to be. Amy helped me with that too. She made sure there was something prepared in case this situation happened. You know, to explain why I showed up like this, in a wheelchair and hooked up to medical equipment.
Wait, what do you mean? You told them about our conversation?
Yeah, I think people understand the situation now. I made it clear that you were fully aware of my condition beforehand. I let them know that I tried to tell you I wouldn't be able to attend, but you wouldn't listen. You insisted that I come to your wedding, even if I had to drag myself here. So yeah, I think that pretty much cleared things up for everyone.
What the hell were you thinking showing everyone those messages?
Look, I'm really not feeling well. I think I pushed myself too hard by coming here.
What are you talking about? What is wrong with you now?
I'm sorry, but I think I need to leave. I tried my best to stay, but it's too much for me. I'm going to rest for a bit and see if I feel any better. If I can't make it back, I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated.
Hey, are you okay, Juliet?
I wanted to talk to you when I could, but I still feel weak after what happened today. I'm really sorry for everything earlier.
Yeah, well, after you got taken away by the ambulance, my fiancé called it off. The wedding's been canceled because of everything that happened. I'm sorry for rushing you too hard.
I see. I'm really sorry the wedding got canceled. I didn't want to cause any trouble, but I guess I did, huh?
Listen, I need you to talk to my husband and his family. Can you come out for a bit? Right now, my husband and his family are absolutely furious. They're saying that I forced my seriously injured friend to come to the wedding just for my selfish reasons. And then you ended up in an ambulance. They're calling me reckless and inconsiderate, but we're best friends, right? You wanted to come, didn't you? I need you to explain to them that you came because you wanted to, even if it meant pushing yourself.
What? Are you serious? I didn't want to go at all.
What?
I told you from the start I couldn't make it, remember? I clearly said I wasn't able to attend, but you forced me to come. You even threatened me into it, remember? Amy helped me make a poster with the screenshots of our chat, and we posted it for everyone to see. Everyone already read it. They know exactly what happened. And they saw how I ended up in an ambulance because you pushed me to come. There's no taking that back now.
No, please don't say that. That whole thing was just a joke between us. It wasn't serious. Just tell them you came because you wanted to. That's all you have to do. Just say that and everything will be fine.
So you want me to lie for you? You want me to cover your selfish behavior? Why should I do that? Why should I help someone who forced me into a horrible situation and then asks me to come and clean up their mess? Are you seriously asking me to do this for you? You literally just asked if I could come out and talk to them after I was sent away in an ambulance. You're unbelievable.
But, well, this is the only way. I'm in so much trouble right now. My fiancé is furious and his family's talking about calling the whole marriage off. If that happens, it'll be your fault. You'll be the one to ruin my marriage.
You can say whatever you want. If you really think that's my fault, you've got bigger problems than just the wedding. You brought all this on yourself, not me. Maybe if you hadn't been so self-centered, things wouldn't have gone this way. But you didn't care about anyone else, and now you're paying the price.
But you don't understand. I was about to marry someone from a top company. A real elite, someone who could make over $100,000 a year. He's a walking success story, and now you're telling me I have to go back to square one? You're telling me my perfect life is ruined? Do you know what this means for me?
That's your problem. If you can only think about your own life and your own gain, then you've got no one else to blame. Honestly, I thought of you as my best friend for a long time. But it turns out you just saw me as a pawn, someone you could manipulate to serve your own needs. I don't owe you anything.
You don't understand. His family is so strict, and I wanted everything to be perfect. I had to make sure nothing went wrong. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I want it to be flawless for him.
Yeah, I get it. You were desperate to be perfect for him. But guess what? People are talking. I heard from Amy how you told her that my situation was just an inconvenience, and that I was going to ruin your big day. Honestly, I already expected something like this from you. But after all that, do you really think I'm going to go out of my way to help you?
Please, don't do this. If you don't help me, I really won't be able to get married. My family's fed up with me too. They're talking about cutting ties with me over this. Look, I'll apologize for forcing you to come. Just help me out here, please. I'll make it right.
No, I'm not going to help you. You've made this mess all on your own. This is what happens when you're so obsessed with your own happiness that you can't even think about how you're treating the people around you. You thought you could push me around and everything would still go your way, but guess what? It doesn't work like that. It's time you faced reality. You're on your own.
Dana, are you okay? Juliet actually came to the hospital to attack you? What happened?
Amy, thank you for reaching out. Yeah, I was just as shocked as you are. First, I was already reeling from the news that I might be seriously ill, and then being told I needed to be hospitalized immediately. That was hard enough to take. But for her to pretend she was coming to visit me only to attack me? I never saw it coming.
She took advantage of the fact that you're at your weakest? That is beyond disgusting. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. Luckily, a nurse happened to be nearby, so things didn't escalate too much. But I really didn't think she'd go that far.
That is some next level revenge. I can't believe she actually did that. I wish I could rush over to see you right now, but with visiting hours...
No, it's okay. Really, I'm all right now. I screamed when I saw her face, and the nurse rushed in right away, so it all got handled before anything could happen.
I'm relieved nothing serious happened.
The hospital staff immediately called the police, so she didn't get away with it. I imagine by now she's probably being questioned by the police. Her family's definitely been notified too. With everything that's happened, I'm sure her engagement is done for.
Yeah, she's been totally unhinged ever since the wedding fell through. Honestly, she doesn't have a great education or career to begin with, and now with a criminal record? Her life's practically over. It's like she dug her own grave. I'm just glad you're cutting ties with her.
I know, right? The moment I saw her, the way she looked, I couldn't help but scream. She looked like a completely different person, like a demon or something.
She even tried reaching out to me for help, saying she was begging on her knees to her fiancé, asking him to take her back, saying it was impossible for them to break up. But honestly, anyone with a shred of common sense would run far away from someone that selfish and manipulative. Marrying her would have been a disaster for him.
Yeah, I feel bad saying this, but I can't find it in me to feel sorry for her.
Of course not. After everything she's put you through, there's no reason to. You know what she said to me when I refused to help her? She said, "Fine, I'll make sure you feel the same pain. I'll ruin your relationship too. You'll regret this." Can you believe that?
Wow, even now, she's still going down the path of self-destruction. Honestly, I think she only saw her friends as tools to pass the time. The second someone wasn't useful to her, they were just disposable.
Exactly. Friends to her were never about genuine connection or loyalty. They were just convenient, but I have a feeling that one day she'll regret all of this. It might take time, but she'll come to realize the consequences of what she's done.
Yeah, eventually. No one can make it through life entirely on their own. I think when she looks back and realizes she lost everyone she used to rely on, the loneliness will hit her hard. Then maybe she'll understand the weight of her choices.
Right. People like her never realize the value of what they had until it's all gone.
When she's alone with nothing but the consequences of her actions, that's when the regret will sink in. And honestly, that's what she deserves.
I never wanted things to turn out like this, but I guess people's true colors come out when they feel cornered.
Yeah, it's sad that it had to end this way, but it's better that you saw her for who she really is. At least you can move on without any guilt or doubt, knowing you did your best.
Yeah, I guess so. Thanks, Amy. I really appreciate your support through all of this.
Of course, I'll always be here for you. Just focus on resting and getting better. Juliet's out of your life for good now, and you deserve peace.
Thanks. I'm really lucky to have you by my side.
Anytime, Dana. We've got each other's backs no matter what.
After returning to the outside world, Juliet sent a message to both Amy and me, apologizing for everything that had happened during the chaotic events that transpired. It was surprising to hear from her, given the gravity of the situation we had all endured. However, having discovered Juliet's true nature regarding the wedding incident, we couldn't bring ourselves to believe her words of apology. Her actions had been so hurtful and deceptive that it felt impossible to trust her again. It was as if her apologies were merely empty words, lacking any sincerity or remorse. We had seen her true colors during that time, and it had left a lasting impression on us. Consequently, we decided to block her phone number, ensuring that she would have no way to reach us. This decision felt necessary for our peace of mind, as we could no longer afford to entertain the possibility of her contacting us again. Blocking her was a way to protect ourselves from any further emotional turmoil. Since that day, neither Amy nor I have any knowledge of what has happened to Juliet. We've both moved on with our lives, trying to leave that painful chapter behind. I often wondered how she was doing, but the pain of her betrayal overshadowed any concern I might have had. The shock of being attacked in the hospital lingered for some time, and I realized I needed to make significant changes to my life to protect myself and find healing. In the aftermath of the traumatic event, I took the step to move to a new place. I wanted to ensure that Juliet would never be able to track me down again, that she wouldn't have the means to invade my life any further. The move was more than just a physical relocation. It represented a new beginning for me. A chance to redefine my life and surround myself with positivity and love. It was essential for my mental health and well-being. I now live with my boyfriend, someone with whom I have begun a relationship with the intent of marriage. His name is Davis, and our connection has blossomed into something truly special. Interestingly, Davis is someone I had feelings for in the past, long before everything with Juliet transpired. He had always been kind and supportive, but at the time, I was unaware of how deep my feelings for him really ran. It wasn't until this recent incident that we reconnected on a more personal level. Davis reached out to me after hearing about what happened. He was genuinely concerned for my well-being, and his compassion was evident in every conversation we had. I found solace in his presence. He offered a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on, which was exactly what I needed during such a turbulent period. Our interactions gradually turned into something more profound as we both realized the potential for a loving relationship. As I spent more time with Davis, I began to see the beauty of having someone who truly cared about me. His unwavering support allowed me to open up about my fears and insecurities. And I felt a sense of comfort I hadn't experienced in a long time. It was refreshing to be around someone who genuinely wanted the best for me, someone who respected my boundaries and encouraged my healing process. I feel incredibly fortunate to have Davis by my side. He understands the challenges I've faced and supports me wholeheartedly. It's comforting to know that I have someone who cares about me deeply and is willing to stand by me as I navigate the aftermath of my experience with Juliet. We are building a life together, one filled with trust, respect, and affection, and it's refreshing to feel that sense of safety again. My health has been steadily improving since the incident. Both the physical and emotional wounds are healing, and I am grateful for the medical treatment I received. The doctors and nurses at the hospital played a crucial role in my recovery, and I have followed through with all the necessary therapies and checkups. Their expertise and kindness made a significant difference in my healing journey. Looking back at everything that transpired, I find myself with mixed feelings about Juliet. Despite the pain she caused, there's a small part of me that feels a hint of gratitude. After all, it was through the turmoil and the chaos that I ended up reconnecting with Davis. It's a strange irony that something so painful led to something beautiful. This experience has taught me a lot about resilience and the importance of surrounding myself with people who genuinely care for my well-being. Now, as I go about my daily life, I find a sense of peace that I hadn't felt in a long time. The days have become more manageable, filled with moments of joy and laughter with Davis. We enjoy exploring new places together, sharing meals, and simply being in each other's company. He brings a lightness to my life that helps to overshadow the dark moments from my past. Davis and I have developed our routines, creating a sense of normalcy amidst the changes. We often cook together, experimenting with new recipes and flavors. It has become a fun bonding activity, allowing us to share our favorite dishes and discover new ones. We also make it a point to spend weekends outdoors, hiking or taking long walks in the park, where we can connect with nature and enjoy each other's company. These moments of simple joy have helped me heal and regain a sense of self. We've also started discussing our future together. The conversations are filled with excitement and hope as we share our dreams and aspirations. It feels incredibly reassuring to know that we're on the same page when it comes to our relationship and what we want out of life. We talk about our goals, where we see ourselves in the coming years, and how we can support each other in achieving them. There's a comfort in having a partner who is not only supportive, but also shares similar values and goals. As I reflect on my journey, I realize how important it is to take care of my mental health. I've been actively working on self-care practices, engaging in activities that bring me joy and fulfillment. Whether it's reading a good book, going for long walks, or indulging in creative pursuits like painting or journaling, I make it a priority to nurture my spirit. It's been a healing process, allowing me to reconnect with myself and what truly makes me happy.